Welcome back to Kentucky, Rimfire and Hobbies. Today, I'm humble. Why am I humble? If you follow my channel any at all and you've listened to me talk on some live streams, I talked about when I was a boy. I was 9 years old, and I can remember my dad buying my brother and I matching .22 rifles. Back then, we had a store called Kmart. They're gone now. That's where they came from. And I squirrel hunted with mine. And later on, my uncle was shooting a Savage 900 bench rest style, and I was interested. So I put a 50mm Simmons scope on a Marlin 25, just like the one you're looking at here now. And no, this is not my rifle. It's not my first rifle. I put that Simmons scope on that rifle and I shot right with that Savage. And back then, the Savage 900 was cream of the crop for bench rest shooting. It was expensive for back then. And my uncle had one. He still has it. In my adult life, I used the gun to take groundhogs out of the garden, squirrel hunted with it. It was just a good shooting gun. And it always liked Winchester Dynapoints, which is an ammo you don't hear of anymore. In 2011, I had a fire. I didn't have many guns then, just a handful. I had some faulty wiring in the attic. The house caught fire and it burnt from the attic down. My guns were propped up in the closet in my bedroom. I lived by myself. I was a single dad. My son was away at his mom's. Thank God. I was getting ready to leave for work. My grandparents lived next door. I had walked next door to tell my grandparents I was going out of town because I travel for a living. And while I was sitting at my grandparents' house, I heard a big boom. Looked out the window and my house was in flames. During the fire investigation, I was treated pretty bad just because of where I live in eastern Kentucky. So many people abuse the insurance companies and they burn their houses and collect their insurance, and that's exactly what I was treated like. But I wouldn't have, for no love nor money, took my kid's PlayStation or his games or his toys or any of that. I wouldn't have took any of that away from him. We lost it all, everything. Fire investigator asked me if I'd gotten anything out of the house. I said, yeah. I got my guns after the house burnt. They're laying out in the garage. They're damaged. I didn't know it, but my dad, he took my rifle. He took my son's rifle first. My son had a Cricket, was his first rifle. And he re-blued my rifle, but he couldn't find a stock. But he totally rebuilt my son's rifle and he gave it back to my son that year for Christmas. Didn't know he was doing it. That's the type of man he is. I later found a stock that fit the gun, but it didn't have the butt plate on it. And my dad does woodwork, so he made a custom butt plate. And he re-blued my gun, and I put a scope back on it, and it shot good. The heat from the fire, what happened was, as the fire burnt from the attic down, the clothes bar in the closet fell, and the guns were already getting damaged. They were charred pretty bad. But the clothes fell down over top of the guns and put the fire out on the guns, and it saved them. So my dad was able to rebuild my son's Rossi Youth 20 gauge. It's a 20 gauge with a 410 barrel and a cricket, and then my 22 rifle. I had a 20 gauge shotgun also, but it was beyond repair. But my dad put a lot of work into making that rifle personable to me again. And then I met my wife years later, that I'm married to now. And I lived 2.5 hours away from my wife, but I went to high school with my wife, and I grew up with her, and I knew her well. I knew I loved her. I've loved her for years. We've been best friends. So when she decided she wanted to date, I picked up everything and I moved back to Eastern Kentucky, close to her. The first trip I made, I had an enclosed trailer plumb full of stuff, and I hauled it to Pikeville. I unloaded it into a storage unit. I had Christmas dinner with her mom and dad. I went back home to Richmond, Kentucky. I had dinner with my mom and dad for Christmas. After I had dinner with my mom and dad, I went back to my place to get another load. And someone had broken into my house. I had 12 guns at that time. All 12 of them was gone. With the exception of the Rossi 410 shotgun my son had with the 22 barrel. They picked that gun up out of the gun cabinet and threw it back down like it was a toy to them or something, and they didn't take it. So my son still has his first shotgun /22 conversion. But I've always wanted another Model 25 just like this. This is exactly the gun that I had. Mine had a little bigger scope on it. This is a 3-9 Remington. But this goes to show you how great this community is. I was on a live one night and I was talking about this rifle and what happened. I told my story. And I got a phone call. And it was Rimfire Dave. Rimfire Dave said, "Don't buy no Model 25. If you know Rimfire Dave, he's pretty blunt. And when he first said that, I thought he was trying to tell me not to buy one because they was junk. He was trying to tell me not to buy one because he said he had 5 of them and he was going to give me one. So when we had our get together with Elijah and Hasbro and Rimfire Dave brought me this rifle. It's exactly what I had as my first rifle. It's not my first rifle, but it means as much to me as my first rifle. So I've spent a little bit of time here this morning shooting some Ely target, which was also given to me by Rimfire Dave. And I've got it on paper. I'm shooting a 3-9 and we're shooting at 50 yards. I don't know how good I'm going to shoot it, but we're going to shoot it. This is a Model 25 Marlin, just like the one I had when I was a kid. God be with that person that stole my firearms. I forgive you. That's hard to say, because if you'd have been in my house the day that I came home and my house had been broken into, I don't know what I'd have done. And I was packing. So I despise a thief and a liar. And I had a hard time for years. I wouldn't even buy a firearm for years because I'd lost them all. I didn't start buying guns again until about 5 years ago. But I have met some of the best people in my life in this gun community and on YouTube. Sorry for the sappy video, but this means something to me. And Dave, I'll never be able to repay you. But here we go. Ely Target. This has got 7-round magazines. I'm not sure I got 7 in it. It seems like it gets tight before I get it completely loaded. But I'm just gonna hold the top. We got that Kentucky rimfire practice target down there. And I'm gonna hold on the top sider. And we're just gonna shoot a mag full and see if it groups. And I gotta make sure my target camera's on. And it is not. I had target's camera downrange earlier and the sun was out, it was overheating. Now it's clouding up. But we're just gonna shoot through the scope cam here. So we're rolling now. Here we go. 3 to 9, 50 yards. Ely Target, Marlin 25. Trigger is heavy. I see the shot though, it's right above that target that I was shooting at. Looks like we're gonna shoot a little high. Go ahead and shoot this mag and then we'll make an adjustment. Boat anchor of a trigger. Okay, looks like we got another one left. This might be the last one. We're just shooting here, guys. We're not reading wind or anything, not expecting a stellar group. But it's a minute a squirrel for a 3 to 9. Let's look here and see if we can tell a little bit about what we've done. Yeah, so it looks like we're shooting a wee bit right and a little bit high. So let's see if we can put a little left in it. We'll load up 7 more, and that'll be it for this video. I'm so tickled to have this in my collection. My brother still has his matching rifle. It's identical to this gun. The funny story is we had serial numbers was very close, but my dad, he told me which serial number was mine. He told my brother which serial number was his. And my brother went squirrel hunting one day. He took the wrong rifle. He took mine, and he scratched it. So I had a scratched it. It wasn't bad. It had one scratch in it. He knocked a nick in it, but it was because he took the wrong rifle hunting. All right, here we go. Next target right below it. It's hard on these old eyes. Those circles are 1.25 inches. I think that one went outside the circle, but the rest of them have been in. Is that the last shot, or we got one more? Okay, nope, there's one more in there. All right, let's look at our spotting scope. We got 4 out of 7 in the thing, but we're still shooting. Still shooting right. Elevation looks okay. Tell you what, we ain't got much left in this box. Let's try to get this thing zeroed. I mean, if it'll shoot within that 1.25 inches at 50 yards, that'll bring back my squirrel gun. I think we got just enough rounds here to. Nope, no. Loaded there. Got enough to run 2 magazines, so let's go. We'll go to I'll go to the next target down. That went out of the circle. Okay, we'll have one more look here. Might have went too far to the left. So let's go back to the right, 2 clicks, and come down, 2 clicks. So that's having to hold a little low. We're gonna load it one more time and that'll bring this video to a close. I appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate y'all sticking through my sappy story. But y'all don't know what this means to me. And if you're a gun lover and you still have your first rifle, I'm sure you understand. So here we go. Last group. We'll come down one below that. So that'll be the 4th row down. Ooh. Shot way outside there. I'm low. I know I made an adjustment in the middle of a group, but we're going to finish out right here with these last ones. Last one right here. Okay, I know they're not spectacular. It's 3 to 9 scope at 50 yards. We might do what we did in our younger days. We might find us a big 50mm scope, stick on here, and no, I probably won't. I'll probably leave it just like it sits. It's not a Beatrice rifle, but here's a flyby. Guys, I can't thank Rimfire Dave enough for bringing me this Marlin Model 25. And it's a blast from the past. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate you, buddy. Y'all please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment. We'll see you on the next one. You guys have a blessed day.